Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand. So that was a track from Ben's Jam Tracks. You can find those on YouTube. I really like Ben's tracks. They have some nice kind of chord changes. So I thought today I'd talk about 5 YouTube channels that I really like. I watch a lot of YouTube actually. And I was watching this thing of Rick Beato the other day, and Rick was talking about how YouTube is crushing all traditional media, and I think he's probably right, you know. And he showed a graph that showed that YouTube was actually watched more than Netflix, which was surprising to me, but thinking about my own use of it, that's what I do. So I thought I'd talk about 5 channels today that I really enjoy, and hopefully you'll get something out of this as well. So let's start with one of my favorites, absolute favorites, would have to be tombukovac. I knew of Tom long before the YouTube thing because he's a studio guy, he's a session guy, which is similar to what I do. We're in different parts of the world, but that's what I do. I do a lot of session work for people, so I'm kind of aware of the people around the world that do the same sort of thing. Same thing with Tim Pierce and people like that, Kenny Greenberg, the people who do this work, you're kind of aware of them. So I was aware of Tom Bukovac, and one of the only gifts we really got from the whole COVID lockdown thing was Tom started doing YouTube regularly. Now, what I like about his stuff is killer player, of course, but what I like is there's no BS with it. It's just like Tom in his room playing some stuff and kind of chatting with everyone, having a beer, whatever. It feels like you're kind of hanging with the guy, you know what I mean? And I think it's awesome. Great guitar player. My favorite thing about Tom is probably not what most people's is. My favorite thing is like his chords. He plays beautiful chord inversions and chord structures and things that just stunning. If you haven't heard his albums, go and check out those. Plexi Soul is one of my favorite albums of recent years. Go and check it out. Next one I'll talk about is Leontodd, Australian guitar player, fantastic guitar player. I remember the first time I kind of discovered Leon on YouTube, I heard him play and I just thought, man, this guy just has amazing time and technique. Like, he's like right in the pocket, right down the middle of the beat. And, you know, we sort of conversed a little bit, and I realized that he was into similar stuff I'm into. People might be surprised that I actually really like a lot of the similar rock stuff that Leon likes. But I like people like Paul Gilbert, and I grew up on Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and these sorts of players. And so Leon does a lot of that stuff. I really liked his channel right from the beginning because I was getting more into the modeling thing. I kind of had to try and figure that world out, and Leon has some fantastic tutorials on that. So if you're into that world and you want to know more about it, you want to know about pedals or gear or whatever, you can't go too far wrong with checking out Leontodd. Next one I'll talk about is John Cordy's. John Cordy's someone I heard from my friend Rob Harris. Rob was talking about John Cordy, that he was watching a lot of his stuff, so I thought, well, if Rob's talking about him, must be something good going on. So I went and checked him out, and I really like John Cordy's playing, and I like his whole approach to YouTube. Sometimes, you know, the camera's just focused on his knee, and other times it's like he's forgotten to turn his microphone on and whatever. But I like that. It's a real kind of, feels like a Kiwi approach, you know, and a lot of Kiwis are like that, kind of laid back and relaxed, and it's not too much... it's not too serious. It just feels like a guy in his room making some videos about guitar. He plays great, but most importantly, he's a player out there doing it. He gets out and plays functions and weddings and all kinds of stuff, and he's coming at it from a pro experience, because there's a lot of amateurs on YouTube, and that's totally fine. But you know, when you get someone who's actually doing it, you get to see the equipment that he's talking about and the concepts and all the things in action, and that to me is important. So I really enjoyed John Cordy's YouTube channel, and if you haven't checked him out, you should. Next one I'll talk about is In the Blues. This is Shane from Australia, another Australian one. I really like his channel. I think Shane's great. He kind of delves into gear and stuff. What I like about Shane's stuff is he doesn't necessarily go down the same route that everyone else does. Like, he'll do budget gear, he'll do like higher end stuff and all that kind of stuff. He gets out and plays jam sessions and does various things, playing wise. But Australians, they're kind of like our poor cousin from New Zealand, right? Kiwis and Australians like to kind of have a bit of a dig at each other. So, and I kind of dig his whole vibe. It reminds me a lot of like how a lot of my Kiwi friends. So, plays great. You know, must be tough being a lefty, I think, because you know there's not as many guitars available. But he seems to do really well in that space, and you know, I think Shane's great. And the last one I'll talk about, and this should be no surprise to anyone because I'm sure you already all know about him, but I'm a huge Rick Beato fan.
Minor chord, D minor, B flat over D, E diminished, A over C sharp, D minor, G over B. And then play the whole progression down 2 frets or down a whole step and use this pattern. Here it is up to tempo.
To me, I see so many positive things about what he does. Some of my favorite interviews have been with Rick, like with Seal, and I loved the one with Sting and various people like that. I love the one that, and I love that he's kind of gone down this road of trying to interview everybody involved with the project to get all the different projects, like all the Steely Dan people that were involved in the Asia people, within reason. You know, he's tried to get to all the different people that are involved in it. Because often, you know, you get perspectives on things, you know, and sometimes people's memories aren't great, especially if it was something they did 30, 40, 50 years ago. But if you hear this angle on it, and then you hear this angle on it, and this angle on it, you'll get to somewhere into what actually happened. And I love that. And I think Rick just seems like a good dude. He's a guitar player, he's doing it, he's had an actual career as a producer. So he's not just someone talking about it, he's like an actual pro, you know, and has that experience, which does change things, right? It's an interesting thing, you know. Nothing wrong with amateurs doing it too. Totally cool. But to me, it's like that pro experience weighs a lot because it changes your decisions and about how you do things and why and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Rick Beato. I mean, he didn't need a shout out from me. I'm just putting it here because I like Rick's channel and thought I'd share that with you because maybe there might be one person in the world who hasn't heard of Rick Beato. And I'll give an honourable mention. This is David Beebee. Beebs, great dude. I've got an interview coming on the way. His channel I really enjoy. The production is always like sublime with his stuff. Like it's super slick the way he does it. His legato playing is just incredible. Knows good tone. A real gearhead, loves the music, and gets out and plays and does all that stuff too. So again, a pro player. Has developed an app with Tom Quayle, all kinds of things, but David Beebe's channel I really enjoy, so yeah, check out that. It's an honourable mention. Thanks so much everyone for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.